At first, I had no idea where to even watch this anime. Strangely enough, I stumbled upon it on a website full of Bible verses and religious articles. Don't ask me why it was there. I was just searching for documentaries about homosexual human reproduction for a school project when I accidentally ran into it. Anyway, the story begins with two guys. A blonde one named Kale, and a black-haired one named Rion. They've known each other since they were kids. One day, they're hanging out at the beach. Both are extremely popular with girls, though Ryan seems to attract even more attention. He ends up with two girls, while Quell pairs off with just one. Honestly, I don't agree with that. Have you seen Kale's face? He should clearly be the star, but whatever. Plot convenience, I guess. Kale goes off with his girl to the bathroom to have some fun, but suddenly, one of his ex-girlfriends appears and casts some kind of curse on him, turning him into a woman. Her reasoning? She wants him to experience what it feels like to be in her position. Just to be clear, don't try to make sense of this anime. It simply doesn't have any. Now transformed into a girl, Kale has no idea what to do. At that moment, Rian shows up. As a woman, Kale is absolutely stunning, and Ryan immediately starts doing inappropriate things to her, completely ignoring her protests. As usual, this anime clearly doesn't understand the meaning of consent. Rion only stops when he notices that this girl has the exact same scar as his childhood friend, Kale. Realizing the truth, he's shocked, but not enough to stop him for long. Eventually, the two end up doing the deed, this time consensually, of course. Afterwards, Kale begs Rion not to tell anyone about what happened or about his transformation. Rion agrees, but on one condition. Quill must become his wife. Yeah, I told you, nothing in this anime makes sense. Quill moves into Rion's house, but they constantly argue. At one point, Rian gives him the silent treatment, so Kale gets fed up and decides to go clubbing alone. There, he experiences the real fear many women face when they're completely alone, as some guys approach him with bad intentions. Luckily, Ryan shows up just in time to save him and takes him home. After that, their relationship begins to soften, developing romantic undertones. Eventually, Kale turns back into a man. He thinks Ryan won't want him anymore, but Ryan doesn't care about his gender. What matters is the love between them. They sleep together again, proving it's not about appearance, but about connection. Of course, Kale doesn't stay male for long. He transforms back into a woman, and the next day they go shopping for women's clothes. They walk into a store called Sierra, where the staff gives them judgmental looks. But that doesn't stop them. They end up getting intimate right there in a dressing room. When they come out, the cashier asks if they're a couple because couples get a discount. Kale expects Rian to deny it or laugh, but when he looks at him, Rian is blushing. Kale blushes too and says, "Yes, we are a couple." Of course, it's totally for the discount. Or is it? Later, they visit a doctor to explain the bizarre situation. With complete seriousness, the doctor tells them that everyone goes through a gender cycle. According to him, during the first 3 years of life, you're male, and afterwards, you become female, or some nonsense like that. I already told you guys, this anime makes absolutely no sense. The doctor advises Kale not to get too close to women since it might trigger another transformation. He also tells him to embrace his femininity and even grabs Kale's chin, which immediately makes Rian jealous. Rian snaps at the doctor, telling him to stop touching Kale's face. Not long after, a new girl is introduced. Like many anime girls, her only purpose is to create jealousy. She's in love with Rion, and when she sees Kale in female form, she becomes bitter and rude. Kale, disgusted by her behavior, walks away, leaving her alone with Rian. But Rian pushes the girl aside and goes after Kale instead. The two end up together again, twice actually, and after that, Quail turns back into a man. Now confusion sets in. He begins questioning his feelings. Does he love Rian only when he's a woman, or does he feel the same way as a man too? When he returns to college, he runs into Rian again. As usual, Rian warns him to stay away from girls so he doesn't transform again, then adds that if Kale needs someone, he can always help him out. You know what that means. But Kale, being stubborn, does the opposite. He heads straight to a nightclub full of women. Unexpectedly, he spots Rian there, with another girl. They're about to kiss when Kale interrupts them. In front of everyone, Rian blurts out that if Kale gets too close, he might turn into a woman again. Embarrassed, Kale storms out. Rian chases after him, explaining that what happened with the girl meant nothing. They make out, but it quickly turns into a heated argument. Kale says that if Rian can be with other women, then he should be allowed to be with other men, especially when he's in female form. But Rian, being the possessive and toxic type, refuses. He insists that Kale belongs to him, that no one else has the right to touch him. They fight and go their separate ways. At home, Coil, still upset, ends up pleasuring himself, which triggers the transformation again. Then he remembers what the doctor said. He could turn female if he thought too much about someone he liked. Realizing it always happens when Rian is on his mind, Coil becomes completely confused. He goes back to the doctor to ask for help. The doctor says that if they find out who cursed him, they might be able to reverse it. Cal tells him the girl who cursed him knew his name, meaning she was one of his exes. Determined to handle it himself, he prepares to go after her, but the doctor insists on coming along since it's too dangerous for him to wander around as a woman. That night, Coil meets up with the doctor and realizes just how handsome he is. You can imagine where this is going. They eventually run into that same jealous girl from before, the one who loves Rian. This time, she confesses her feelings sincerely, admitting she truly loves him. Her words make Kale reflect on his own past, how many women he might have hurt without meaning to, treating relationships as temporary fun, while some of them probably felt genuine affection. Now, trapped in a woman's body, Kale finally understands the pain and vulnerability of living as one. The girl admits that even though she loves Rian deeply, she knows he'll never look at her the way he looks at Kale. At that moment, Kale starts realizing that Rian really does have feelings for him. Later, Kale and the doctor run into Rian. Seeing Kale with a handsome man, Rian gets jealous and pulls Kale aside. Kale asks him directly what he truly feels for him. Rian confesses his love and demands to know Coil's feelings in return. Coil admits he's still confused, but they end up sleeping together again, once while Coil is a woman, and again when he turns back into a man. By the next morning, it's pretty clear. Kyle is Rian's one and only, but Kale himself still can't fully accept that truth. And that's where the anime ends, on a note of lingering uncertainty and emotional chaos. And that's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.